You are not getting results with your diet, and here is why. In this video today, we're going to go over the 5 reasons why your diet keeps failing. Look, I get it, it's summer, you've got to that point again, and once again you've wanted to get in shape for summer and it's not happened because you've crashed out on your diet. And this happens so often with you. I've trained many clients over the years, and it's really important that you get dieting right. It's so easy to make a lot of mistakes. So today we're going to go over 5 mistakes that you are making with your diet, and also how we can change that. I myself have gone through my own transformation where I lost 20 kilos in 14 weeks. Here's a picture of that here. I also have a client at the moment who has just done almost 10 kilos in 8 weeks. Here's a picture of him here. And I'm currently on a little bit of a fat loss phase, and I've just lost 7 kilos of body fat. What mistakes are you making? Well, number one, the biggest mistake when it comes to going on a diet is you are just too restrictive. Everybody that when they first start going into diet, I see it so often, it's so annoying, is they go mega restrictive. They do way too much restriction. Whether it's cutting out an entire macro like carbohydrates or fats, or whether it's cutting out everything they love and going fully into a super strict diet. That is not a good way to do it. Just because you're dieting doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself a little bit while you're doing it. Or it doesn't mean you should drop your calories really low. Being super restrictive is going to make the time a lot harder for you. So try to find substitutes rather than restrict. So for instance, if you're somebody who likes Coke, Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, anything along those lines, then not drinking a normal Coke, but having a diet Coke, or not even a diet Coke, a Coke Zero instead, that's a great idea. One thing that I love is Dr. Pepper, so when I'm cutting, I'm currently drinking Dr. Pepper Zero. It's not as dangerous as being overweight, so drink the Coke Zero. If that helps you, if that stops you from drinking full fat Zero, then drink Coke Zero. So substitutes are a great option. Another one that is great that I'm really enjoying, I think is really good, is you can now get low calorie ice cream. So Halo Top is a great brand. I'm not endorsed by any brands, but Halo Top ice cream, about 300 calories per tub, rather than eating a tub of Ben & Jerry's, which could be over 1,000 calories. So great substitute. So rule number 1, don't be too restrictive initially. Find substitutes, find replacements. That's going to make your diet a lot easier. Mistake number 2, not tracking. It's really important that you track whatever you can. The people that don't track their calories when it comes to losing weight always struggle to lose weight long term and keep it off sustainably. What happens with this is usually tied in with the being restrictive as well. People lose weight because they cut out some food like bread, or they cut out carbs, or they cut out fats, like I said previously. And that's why they lose weight, because all in all they've reduced their calories. But when it comes back to not being on a diet anymore, they end up putting all that weight back on because they've just introduced all that food back in, and they've just gone from restriction to de-restriction, restriction to de-restriction. It's this constant yo-yoing. When you track everything and use an app like, so for instance, I'll get what I use. I currently use Chronometer. Now, some people use MyFitnessPal, some people use Chronometer. The reason I use Chronometer is the barcode scanner on Chronometer is that I haven't put my calories in for today, but Chronometer is great. The barcode scanner for Chronometer is free, and I'm pretty sure it's not for MyFitnessPal anymore. So that's why I use Chronometer. There's other apps like the RP Diet app is great, and the Carbon Diet app is great. I've used both of those before, and I think they're really good. But if you're a bit more self-sufficient with your food, Chronometer is brilliant. I like to set those calories personally on there rather than getting it to set them for me. But it's really important that you track everything. Now, when it comes to tracking, I would say the main things you want to track is your nutrition. So how many calories are you eating each day? Your steps, how many steps are you getting every day? And then from there, your training and your sleep. So with your training, it's mainly just making sure that you're making progress each week. And then sleep, if you have the ability, it is a really underused metric to track. How should we track? What's the best way to track? I would say with your food, if you can, measuring it is great. So measuring the food you've got coming in and then putting it into the app. I like to meal prep. So what's great about an app like Chronometer is that you can create meals in there. So when I meal prep, I put all the ingredients in to make a custom meal on Chronometer, and then I just put it as servings. How many servings is that going to create? And then I don't have to do it. I don't have to do measuring every single day, which is great. When it comes to your steps, if you have a watch, that's great, or your phone in your pocket, that's fine. What I will be careful of with the watch is I do find that I've got a Fitbit Versa 4. What I do find with those is it doesn't always track just steps, that any movement of my arm seems to be considered as steps. So just be mindful of that. The number one reason I hear people saying they don't want to track their nutrition, track their calories, is that they find it too stressful. You can make this as easy for yourself as possible, and that is by doing stuff like I do, by creating meals on this app, but also seeing it's our perception of what we're doing. And I like to perceive it as data, and having as much data as I can means I can control the journey as much as possible. When we track our calories and track our weight, so if you're wanting to lose weight, I would try to weigh every single day. The reason I say weigh every single day is this will, instead, we fluctuate so much throughout the week. So one day I might be 1 kilo heavier, next day I might be a kilo down, and it go up and down, up and down. But when you take the average for the week, then you can see the true number of if I'm losing weight or not. So when I'm tracking my weight and I'm tracking my calories, I can see, oh, I'm not really losing any weight at the moment. Maybe I should drop my calories a little bit. Or maybe I should up my calories a little bit because I'm losing too much weight. That's a really good way to see if we're progressing at the right speed. Now, mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is not planning in social elements. If we're blocking in a transformation for a good 12 weeks, what's a really good idea to do is, even if you just look a month ahead, trying to plan in what your social areas are going to be. Maybe you've got a family outing that's happening. Maybe you've got a meal that you want to go out with your partner. Maybe there's a birthday coming up or a wedding. It's really important that you plan those things into your calendar and then prepare for them. Quite often, these events can crop up on you and you don't prepare for them, and it can knock your diet out of whack for a few days. There's nothing wrong with you going to a wedding and eating all the food at that wedding, and that only knocked you out for that one day, because what you can do is the next day or the day before, keep some calories back for that day. So for instance, recently I went out for dinner with my wife. I'm on a cut at the moment, and I set aside a certain amount of calories for that meal, and I made sure I just ate less throughout that day or ate less the next day. Being prepared for these things not only makes you not stumble, but it makes you feel better about going to events. It makes you feel less guilty about going to events, which is really, really important. The more we start to feel guilty about going to events because we're on a cut, the less likely we are to stick to the cut. So making sure you look ahead. What have I got coming up? Okay, I'm going to stick to this, this, and this. Mistake number 4. This is one I say a lot, and it's actually something that I've struggled with in the past when it comes to cutting. And this is worrying about everybody else's opinion. This is a really big topic. I can probably do a whole video in itself. but quite often I see people go on a cut and they almost feel ashamed about it. They almost feel embarrassed about the fact that they're trying to lose some weight. And then they'll be having their friends and their family or co-workers, people around them saying, why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. Oh, maybe that's a bit extreme. When they don't really have any idea or understanding about what's going on or what's going on in your body and your mind. This is a journey solely for yourself, and people should only be supporting you. If people are not supporting you and are making it harder for you, then you need to not listen to their opinions. Now, this is a very hard thing to do, I completely understand, but the more you realize that you are doing this for you and nobody else, the better the cut will be. And number 5, the last mistake people make when it comes to cutting is not preparing for what to do after the cut. Many people finish a cut and go back to their old ways, and then everything, all that hard work, all the weight they lost comes back on, and most often than not comes back on even more. You need to get a plan in place of what you're going to do post-cut. This will probably require some form of a refeed diet, which is a video that we can do in the future. But what I would suggest everybody do is not go straight into a bulk after a cut. Do not go straight into a muscle gain phase straight away. What you do want to do is try to maintain that weight for as long as possible. So I would suggest trying to maintain the weight that you have achieved for at least the amount of time it's taken you to do the cut. So if you've done a 12-week cut, do a 12-week maintenance phase. Now, a maintenance phase is as simple as this. Give yourself a 2 kilo buffer either side of the weight that you're at now. So if you get to 80 kilos, you can go to 82 kilos or 78 kilos and measure your calories throughout all of this. What we want to be able to do is slowly up our calories as much as possible while staying within this buffer range. Do that for a good 12 weeks to settle into this weight and figure out where your maintenance calories are. From there, we can then decide whether or not we want to cut a little bit more or whether or not we want to try and build some muscle mass. Or maybe you just want to stay at the weight you're at, which is great, which is perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't always have to be going up or down. So there are my 5 main mistakes I see people make when they're trying to go on a cut. If you're wanting to get a transformation like this or this, then get in touch, comment below, and we'll get in touch with you and we'll see how to get you in the best shape of your life.